Hey, what's going on? My name is Anthony, also known as Lending Bent. I am a loan officer here in the great state of Florida. I've been a loan officer going on 5 years now, and I am making a video today to go over credit. So, common thing that I do run into on a day-to-day basis is how do I build credit, or how do you build credit? And the most important thing that you can do when building credit, and these are just my tips that I have seen personally that work, and I've helped individuals that help them get their credit in the right place so that they can utilize the better rates and incentives for mortgage when they're going out to purchase a first home or their second home or third home. So the first part that I would recommend, or the first thing I would recommend when building your credit, is looking into getting a secured credit card. That's one of the easiest ways. It's nothing new. That's nothing new that nobody has mentioned before. But getting a secured credit card, and what a secured credit card is let's say, for example, you have $500. You'd go to an institution, your current bank that you have, let's use Wells Fargo, for example. You go to Wells Fargo and you say, hey, I don't have a credit card at all. Can I get a secured credit card? You'd fill out a credit card application, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get qualified unless there's something on your credit. But in this example, you get qualified, you get approved. They say, okay, well, what usually with a secured credit card, you would say, hey, I have $500. Can I make this my credit limit? And they would take that $500, give you a credit card, and your credit limit is $500. So with that $500, I would use that secured credit card strictly for gas, and maybe if you go out and eat at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or something like that, I would use it just for gas and food, and pay it off every month and help build your credit, because the history that's being built on your credit report shows that, okay, if you do that for 12 months, that shows 12 months of good history. That at least builds your credit enough where if you go apply somewhere else for another credit card or a car, something like that, that helps your case. If you don't have any credit at all built on your history, such as positive paid on time credit like a credit card, then that can hurt your chances with applying with other types of loans, such as a car loan, a mortgage. Now, there are ways around it. They can use other things that you pay, such as rent and stuff like that, but that's additional documents. So the easiest way is to build your credit so you don't have to provide additional documents to manually build your credit. So get a secured credit card. You can use it uh, every month, every day, depending on how much you get gas. So every week, for example, you get gas and you get fast food. At the end of the month, you pay it off. Keep paying it off based on your due date. That's on your credit card statement. And when you find out your due date, just make sure you're paying it off every month so you build that good history for your credit. Second thing, build things on time. Pay things on time. So if you have a secured credit card and a light bill and water and stuff like that, your rent, pay those things on time. Because what tends to happen, people, especially what I've noticed, that don't have much credit or any credit cards or any loans, they pay cash for everything. They may have rented an apartment, they didn't pay the rent on time, or they stopped paying the rent and moved out, and they think, oh, well, nothing's gonna happen. I moved out, I don't have to worry about it anymore. That's not true. They may apply that balance that's due on your credit. And when they do apply it on your credit, it goes into collections, and that hurts your scores. So I always say pay things on time. So if you have to set it up for auto pay, set up for auto pay, minimum payments, you're good to go. Especially if you have other credit cards right now, just set it up on auto pay. The minimum payments, depending on your balance, let's say it's $50, set up an auto pay for $50 coming out of your credit, of your checking account, so you know that your credit cards are being paid regardless. You don't have to log in every day, check your credit cards, make a payment. It's automatically being done. And that saves you a lot of time, and it helps build your credit as well because it's showing positive payments. And even if you set up an auto pay and you want to go into that credit card's account and pay it off completely, you have that option to do that. But at least you know it's being paid on time. And once it's being paid on time, it's constantly building your history and building your scores. And if, let's say, you say, okay, this whole thing of paying things on time, I have to wait 12 months, at least build my credit up faster. It's not going to take a full 12 months to see increase in your scores as long as everything else is checked off. There's nothing in collections, any prior late payments, everything's being paid on time, and you have, let's say, 3 months of payments being paid on time, you are going to see your scores increase. However, if you go to get another, like a mortgage or a loan, it might not show that you have the full history because your credit's so fresh. You only have 2-3 months of payments. Now, if you want to build your credit a lot faster with great history, a secret that a lot of people do is get added as an authorized user on someone's credit cards. Now, the tip is you do not want to get added to a credit card as an authorized user if someone is also building their credit. So if someone just started building their credit 2-3 months ago, then I don't think it's a good idea to be added as an authorized user on their account. Now, the secret is if you have grandparents that are still in your life and they have great credit and they had a credit card from the 90s or the early 2000s and they never missed a payment, always paid on time, maybe you should suggest to your grandparents, hey, I'm in the process of building my credit. Are you willing to add me as an authorized user on your account so I can build my credit? 9 times out of 10, your grandparents are going to say, of course, they probably love you dearly. They'll do anything to help you out. Now, it's your responsibility to say, I'm going to get a credit card as an authorized user. You can give it back to your grandparents and say, hey, I do not want the card. I want to continue to keep your trust. I just need to build my credit. Or if they do trust you and you are responsible, you can use that card for gas and going out to eat and paying it off every month. That is going to drastically build your scores, especially if your grandparents has had that credit card since the early 2000s. For example, let's say 2000. They've had a credit card from 2000 all the way up to 2024. So 24 years, they have great history of paying on time, and you get added as an authorized user. You're pretty much stealing their history and adding it to your own, and it's showing that you have great credit history. And that's going to bring your scores up as well, especially if they've been paying things on time with what you're doing, as well as building your own credit. So that's very important. You can get added as an authorized user on your grandparents' credit card, especially if they have great credit, or your parents' credit card. And if your parents have great credit and they've always paid for a long period of time, even if they started building their credit from 2010, that's still good history to have. And you can steal that information and apply it to your credit profile. That would help you increase your scores and your credit history to make you a stronger candidate when you are purchasing a mortgage or a car or anything like that, get better features with rates and stuff like that. So it's very important to build your credit and have that flexibility, that history. Another thing, so sometimes, especially now, let's say you have credit and your credit is not the greatest, but you want to improve your scores. You can look at it and say, alrighty, let's say for example, I have $10,000 of credit card debt. I have a 600 credit score. I have never made a late payment. I don't have anything in collections. It's just that my debt utilization is high and I need to get that paid down. So my credit card, let's say across the board, I have 5 credit cards and the credit limits on all 5 credit cards together combined is $10,000 and I owe $10,000, right? My utilization is high. So one thing that I have noticed that I know works very well, and other individuals that I have seen utilize this practice as well, If you have that much credit card debt, for example, $10,000, if you have that money laying in your savings account and you want to see your score jump drastically, um, you could, and let's say I'm at a 600 right now, you can take, let's say $950 or 9,000 and let's say 9,500 and pay a chunk of your credit card off. Or let's say 9,000, let's say you take $9,000 and you pay the chunk of your credit cards off, leaving your complete balance $1,000 or less. So your utilization will go from 100 to 10%. So that the reason why I say leave a little bit of a balance left, so when the credit bureaus or when your credit card companies report to the credit bureaus, they will see that there's some balance left, and that would shoot your scores up. I've seen where it takes someone from 600 all the way up to a 700. And like I said, it depends on everything else that's made up on your credit. So if you have no collections, no other previous late payments, nothing like that, you just have a high utilization on your credit cards and you pay it down drastically and leave a small balance, that would bring your scores up a lot. Um, the rule of thumb, people say 30% and less utilization will keep your scores great, and that is true. It is recommended to keep your utilization under 30%, but if you take a drastic hit from 100% or 80%, even 60%, and you bring your utilization all the way down to 10% or below 10%, it will bring your scores all the way up. I've seen it happen. I know it works. But if that's something that you're currently going through, then you can definitely utilize that method to bring up your scores fairly quickly so that you have a better rate and competition when it comes to applying for a mortgage or a car loan or any other loan that you're looking to obtain. I would also say look into a credit monitoring service. So there's a lot of services out there that you can utilize. For example, if you bank with a major institution, Chase, Wells Fargo, you have a credit monitoring service built within the system already. So you just apply, giving them access, and you're able to see your scores in real time. And you get notifications if your scores go up, go down, if somebody ran your credit without your permission. You see what happens and what pops up, and it also allows you to go in and see what accounts you owe, what's in your collection, what might be made up of your, what is going on with your credit history, what's on there, and you can look into it for a little look into it a little bit and see, okay, what's going on there, what do I need to work on to get my scores higher. And you can utilize that to find things that might be incorrect on your credit, so you can dispute that to the credit bureaus and help improve your scores. But I would get a credit monitoring service so you can see what's going on. I look at it as a camera for your credit. If you have a home and you have a Ring doorbell and somebody rings your doorbell, you want to know who's at your door. Instead of opening the door, you can go on your phone, look at the app, who's at the door, hey, not interested, no, okay, no thank you, oh, that's my friend, whoever, yeah, you can come in, I can go downstairs, open the door, etc. With a credit monitoring service, you can look at it and say, okay, what's going on? I get monthly updates, my score increased, my score decreased, why did it decrease? Oh, my credit was ran. Okay, something popped up on my credit, I don't know what this is for, let me look into it. If it's wrong, you can dispute it. You can get things squared away and situated so that your credit continues to stay on the up and coming and not going down. So definitely get a credit monitoring service. If you already bank with a major institution, it's already built in within the system. Is the credit that they're showing, the credit score that they are showing in your account when you log in, is it 100% accurate for when a mortgage company runs your credit? Probably not, but it's a good indicator. I've seen it most times, they're fairly more accurate compared to Credit Karma. So if you log into your account and it says you have a 750 credit score, likelihood if we run your credit, you're probably going to be 750. So I like those credit monitoring services a lot more. Yeah, always take care of your credit. That's one of the biggest things that I always recommend to anyone. If you are someone that you are looking to improve your credit and you don't know where to start and you're deciding to buy a house in Florida, anywhere in Florida, feel free to reach out to me. We can look at your credit, see what's going on, connect you with the right individual depending on what's going on with your credit. If you need credit repair, we work with a team of individuals that get it done. You know, um, I worked with a lot of different people that claim to do credit repair and they don't do anything. I've had individuals work with the large credit repair companies and they don't do anything, or they remove it and it takes forever for them to complete the process. Where individuals that I work with, they truly get it done, they truly get it removed, and you don't have to worry about anything. So definitely reach out to me if you have any questions about getting credit repair or getting your credit situated so you can go out and purchase a home. And if you're thinking about buying a piece of property and you want to form a game plan and get everything squared away so that you start the home buying process with the least amount of speed bumps, reach out to me so that we can form that game plan. I it's very important to have a game plan in place. So if you ever played a sport, for example, football, you can have the most talented individuals on your team, but without a game plan, you're most likely not going to win against a team that has the least talent but a fully executed game plan because they know what to expect. They're going to go out there with a game plan to execute. So it's very important, have a game plan so you can eliminate as many speed bumps as possible, because when you eliminate the speed bumps during the transaction, it helps you have more peace of mind, your agent have more peace of mind, title, and myself, and everyone else around that's involved in the process. And if everybody's happy, especially if you're happy, then everybody's happy, you know? So definitely connect with someone that's gonna be able to form you a good solid game plan so that the process is least stressful and as smooth as possible for you. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, feel free to reach out to me.